Hey everyone, Dan from fbgeeks.com here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Aurora Tirreno, and this is the second in a series of pins dedicated to the Italian seas. It's a limited edition pin of only 480 pieces worldwide. It retails for $1,500 and is pretty darn impressive as a rider. Why don't you join me as we take a closer look? Aurora does a really good job with the presentation. You can see from the footprint of this box, it measures about 7 by 9 inches, and it's got quite a bit of information on the side of the box. You can see their Aurora logo and the big logo on front. Lifting off the lid, give me a minute, and you can see the kind of matte black box with this flap that folds down in the front to help you get it out. And I mean, it's a heavy duty box. It's built solid. It's put together very well. And opening it up, there we have it. The pen, the ink. It's a bottle of Aurora Black, really good ink there. We've got a couple of pamphlets here, a little bit of information on the pen, and then also a book that specializes in all of Aurora's limited editions. Here we have the handwritten limited edition number. And if you flip through it, I mean, it's printed on really nice paper. It shows you all their limited editions because it's got some good information in there. But really what we're after is this thing right here, the Tirreno. Beautiful pen. If we slide the pen out of the case, we can get a closer look at the green marbled oroloid that this pen is made from. I mean, it's absolutely stunning, and quite often I'll pull this pen out of my pocket just to stare at it. Green was chosen as the material for this pen to represent the native vegetation of the coast of the Tyrrhenian Sea. Now at the top of the cap, we can see Aurora's logo in the top. I mean, I really like this style. I wish they would do it on more of their pens. I think it just looks fantastic. And if we take a look at the clip ring, we'll see the hallmark denoting the .925 sterling silver the bands are made from. And the clip ring, it shows off Sardinia's Nuraghe, which is the largest megalithic monument in Europe. Transitioning to the clip, we'll see that it is very similar, if not the same, as that found on Aurora's 88. It has excellent tension, but is easy to operate one-handed. Now, on the back of the cap band is the number of the pen out of 480, along of the outline of Vesuvius and Capri's Faraglioni. Now, Vesuvius is currently the only active volcano in all of continental Europe, and Faraglioni is the collective name for the 3 stacks located off the island of Capri. Moving down the barrel of the beautiful oroloid, we come to the barrel bottom ring, which is decorated with the flower designs taken from Etruscan amphoras signifying rebirth. The detail on each of the castings is actually quite good. The outer surface of each ring has been polished, which contrasts nicely with the matte finish in the background. Taking a quick look at the end of the piston knob, we can see that it has been polished to a mirror-like shine and is a fingerprint magnet. So far, so good. Now let's take a look at the heart of the pin. 1.5 rotations is all it takes to remove the cap, and once it's off, we can see the rhodium-plated 18-karat gold nib. I got mine in a medium, and it wrote fabulously. The one thing I do have a problem with is the imprint design. I just can't stand all those little squirrely swirl marks. The window functions very well. You can very easily see the ink level, and it holds quite a bit of ink. Now that the pen is filled and we've seen the nib, how comfortable is it in the hand? Well, if you like to post your pen, you'll be happy to know that the cap posts very securely, but you may not actually need to do so. Now, I almost always post my pens, but rarely did I do so with this one. Either way, it sits nicely in the hand and is very comfortable for even the longest of writing sessions. I've gone ahead and emptied the barrel so we can get a better look at the ink window and the piston seal. As with all Aurora's piston filling fountain pens, this one includes the reserve system. As I operate the piston, I'll describe how this reserve system works. When the ink level is above the height of the black stem that we can see through the ink window, ink can easily get to the feed. Once the ink level drops below the top of that stem, the pen acts as if it's empty, but you'll still be able to see some ink through the window. The piston, as you can see here, takes up the space where the last little bit of ink is, raising it to a level above the stem. When you're at this point, Aurora recommends leaving the piston in this position as a reminder that you're out of ink and need to refill. It's a little different than anything I've seen before, but it works well and is actually very functional. Alright, the writing sample, what we've all been waiting for. I was very surprised with how smooth this nib was. Most Aurora nibs that I've used have a little bit of tooth to them. I mean, I wouldn't call them scratchy, but there's just, feedback to the nib. But when I put this to the paper for the very first time, the smoothness was just unbelievable. I mean, it was almost borderline too smooth, if that's even possible. As you can see, flow slightly on the wet side, love it. It was consistent the entire time I used it with multiple different inks. It kept up, with all of my writing on any paper at any speed. I was just very pleased with the performance of this pen. It's something that I could easily sit down with for hours and just write until the barrel was empty. I mean, it really is that good. If you have the chance, I highly recommend getting a hold of one of these things and trying it out. So if you couldn't tell, I really, really like this pen. I don't know what it was about it. It's just an excellent writer. It feels perfect in the hand. When I first pulled it out of the box, I thought it was going to be a little too small. I'll show you what I normally like to write with. This delta next to it, it's quite a bit larger, both in length and in diameter. Those are the kind of pens I prefer. But with this Aurora, most of the time I wrote with it without posting, which is unheard of for me. I almost post every pen, even those deltas, I post those. But this, it just felt so much better, without posting it, just writing with it like this. I mean, and it's not huge, but it's not tiny either. I don't know, it's just the perfect pen for me. I really like it. I really, really like it. And I just want to thank Tirreno Industries for sending us this pen to review. You can read the full written review at fpgeeks.com. And if you have any questions, be sure to leave them down in the comments, and we'll answer them as quickly as possible. Thanks for watching.
Indulge.